Why are people so stupid? And why does it seem like stupidity is spreading faster than ever? Harlan Ellison summed it up pretty well when he said, "The two most common elements in the universe are hydrogen and stupidity." And he wasn't alone in thinking that. Stupidity is everywhere, and yet we tend to brush it off like it's harmless. But the truth is, stupidity causes way more damage than we realize. Carlo Cipolla, an Italian historian, actually tried to make sense of all this. He wrote a short, brilliant essay called The Basic Laws of Human Stupidity. I've started a series exploring each of his laws, and today I want to talk about his second law, which says, the probability that a certain person is stupid is independent of any other characteristic of that person. Put simply, stupidity doesn't care who you are. It isn't tied to your income, your education, your social class, your race, your age, your job title, none of it. You can't predict it by looking at someone's resume or background. And that's what makes it so unsettling. Every person has a fixed probability of being stupid, just like they have a fixed blood type or eye color. It doesn't matter if you're a professor at a top university, a wildly successful entrepreneur, or even a Nobel Prize winner. None of that changes the odds. As Cipolla bluntly puts it, I firmly believe that stupidity is an indiscriminate privilege of all human groups. That one sentence sums up the second law perfectly. But what does that actually look like in real life? Well, Cipolla didn't just throw out ideas, he looked at the data. In a series of surveys across universities worldwide, he sorted people into 5 groups: blue-collar workers, white-collar workers, students, administrators, and professors. Then he studied how many people in each group he could confidently classify as stupid. And the result? The exact same percentage in every category. Yes, exactly the same. Cipolla was curious about this, so he pushed further. He turned to what we think of as the absolute peak of intellectual achievement, Nobel Prize winners. And yet again, the pattern held. The result confirmed nature's supreme powers. A fraction of the Nobel laureates are stupid. That's the shocking part. Even among the brightest, most accomplished minds on the planet, the same proportion of people turn out to be irrational, counterproductive, or just plain incompetent. The message is clear. No amount of academic status, professional prestige, or worldly success can protect you from stupidity. It doesn't matter how many letters are after your name. You're not immune. As one modern commentator put it, every category you can imagine, gender, ethnicity, nationality, education, income, has a fixed percentage of stupid people. University professors can be stupid. There are US presidents who have been and/or are stupid. So why is stupidity spread so evenly across the human race? Cipolla believed it was inborn. He compared it to being born with red hair or a particular blood type. Some are stupid and others are not, he wrote. And the difference is determined by nature and not by cultural forces. In his eyes, stupidity isn't something you grow into or out of. It's part of your wiring. A stupid man is born a stupid man by an act of providence. He wasn't trying to be poetic. He was making a serious point. You can train someone to do calculus or speak 3 languages, but if nature dealt them the card of stupidity, that's a card they'll keep playing. It's a humbling idea. We love to take pride in our intelligence, our schooling, our life experience. But according to Cipolla, none of that changes the roll of the cosmic dice. Nature handed out stupidity at random, and now we all have to deal with the consequences. And it's not just Cipolla who saw it this way. Over the years, other great minds have echoed the same uncomfortable truth. There's that famous line, often and maybe wrongly, credited to Albert Einstein. 2 things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. Whether or not he actually said it, the quote perfectly captures the spirit of Cipolla's thinking. Stupidity has no edge, no boundaries, it just keeps going. Or take Alexandre Dumas, who once remarked, "Human genius has its limits, while human stupidity does not." That's the core idea. Intelligence has a ceiling. Stupidity? Apparently not. And then there's Bertrand Russell, writing back in the 1930s. His take might be the most dangerous insight of all. The trouble with the world is that the stupid are cocksure while the intelligent are full of doubt. That right there is the heart of the problem. Stupidity isn't just common, it's confident. It doesn't question itself. It doesn't pause to reflect. And that's what makes it so powerful and so destructive. History is filled with painful reminders of this idea that stupidity is evenly distributed. Time and time again, powerful nations and influential leaders, people who should have known better, have been brought down by sheer foolishness. Bertrand Russell's reflection on Europe in the 1930s is a clear example. He noted that Nazism didn't rise from some complex, rational master plan. It happened, he said, because those elements of the population which are both brutal and stupid have combined against the rest. The German intelligentsia, highly educated, culturally sophisticated, was sidelined by the brutal certainty of the ignorant. And this isn't just about one moment in time. No civilization, no matter how advanced, is safe from collective folly. Empires crumble when people in power ignore plain facts, reject sound advice, or stubbornly repeat known mistakes. As Cipolla dryly points out in his essay, whether you're living in a global capital or among the headhunters of Polynesia, you'll still encounter the same percentage of stupid people. And according to his first law, that percentage will always be higher than you expect. No matter how enlightened a society tries to become, it carries with it a built-in ballast of irrationality. As one modern critic put it, nothing endangers today's democracy as much as the epidemic of stupidity. Even with good schools, high ideals, and noble intentions, people still fall into the same destructive traps. And today's world offers no shortage of examples. Just look at the corporate world. Boardrooms filled with Ivy League degrees and billion-dollar salaries still manage to produce staggering blunders. Behavioral economists have long noted how even the smartest investors, driven by fear, ego, or herd mentality, can make monumentally stupid financial decisions that cost billions. Politics, too, is littered with examples. Leaders from all backgrounds fall for conspiracy theories, empty slogans, or short-term fixes. Wealth, education, and experience offer no guaranteed protection from gullibility. As Cipolla puts it with a wink, stupid individuals are proportionately as numerous among men as among women. And we could easily add, among the rich and the poor, the famous and the unknown. Everyone knows at least one educated, well-meaning person, a friend, a colleague, a relative, who still manages to do something completely foolish. That's what makes the universality of stupidity so dangerous. It's easy to overlook. It encourages arrogance. We begin to think we're somehow the exception. But Cipolla's second law teaches the opposite. Expect the unexpected. Even in the most intelligent environments, stupidity shows up at the same reliable rate. But the question remains here. What do we do with this knowledge, with this law? Cipolla's second law is ultimately a call for humility and vigilance. We can't afford to assume that just because someone comes from our social circle, studied at the same university, or works in the same profession, they're safe from acting stupidly. And we can't assume we're safe either. We need to question our own certainties, challenge our own assumptions, and accept that we're all vulnerable to blind spots and bad decisions. That means cultivating doubt. It means using critical thinking, not as a luxury, but as a daily tool for survival. Because this law, as Cipolla says, is an iron law. It admits no exceptions. That means there's always a baseline level of irrationality in any group, no matter how elite or well-meaning. That realization is sobering, but also useful. Once we understand that success, status, or intelligence don't cancel out stupidity, we can be more careful about who we trust, what we follow, and how we make decisions. The law is a dark little joke, but it hits home. The sooner we accept it, the better we can protect ourselves, our communities, and our institutions. Because while it may be depressing to realize that human genius has its limits, while human stupidity does not, as one humorist put it, acknowledging that truth might just be the wisest thing we ever do.